ShadowVanilla is still one of the most misunderstood ships in the CRK fandom, ever since it gained massive popularity during the Spire of Shadows update. We, the shippers and the haters, have repeatedly mischaracterized what it means to ship this. Today, we will go over some main points both sides make as to why you can ship it or shouldn't ship it, to see if this is supported by the game itself. I am only going over the English dub since most online translators are unreliable for languages like Korean, since their grammar structure is different. I also want this to be a no-bias video, so we will only be using direct evidence from the game itself, then making conclusions based on that evidence. I also know that the Korean dub is the original version of the story, but like I said before, I am not Korean and I do not know Korean. The English dub can also give enough information to prove points, and since it's more known by most of the English CRK fandom, I will use it, just to avoid discourse and mistranslations from other people. Now to our first point from the shippers.
Objection!
This is just false. There's no two ways about it. ShadowVanilla is toxic, let me explain why. First off, Shadowmilk went ahead and tried to form what he thought was a genuine friendship in his eyes. Now I know a lot of you are now questioning, what friendship? Let me explain. Shadowmilk's initial goal was to get his soul gem back and go. That's it. But then, he kept wondering how far he could push pure vanilla, until all of what was pure vanilla was gone. Shadowmilk wanted to shape pure vanilla to his own liking, saying that he wouldn't be able to do anything about it, that it was his fate. If that isn't manipulation to you, then I'm not sure what to say. He also said that it would feel good to fall, just like he did. He wanted to form pure vanilla into what he calls his puppet, or a cookie can play with him, a cookie who abides to his ideals and opinions. He also went ahead and altered pure vanilla's memories, to put those doubts in him, to say his whole entire life was the other Raylan, a lie. And with that, it made pure vanilla question who he was in the first place, ultimately becoming truthless recluse. So by friendship, what I'm really saying is that in the canon, Shadowmilk has a toxic, platonic love obsession for pure vanilla, which he thinks is mutual and real, because he thought his plan worked, which we know it did not. Now, to some of the haters watching you now might be saying,
if you ship it, you support abuse. Objection!
this is the most misunderstood part of shipping ShadowVanilla. First, let's go over the abuser x-victim claim. It's hero x-villain and abuser x-victim. I heard a lot of gasps now. Now let me explain. As this was a fact I had to understand eventually. The key difference between abuser x-victim and hero x-villain is how the relationship ends up. ShadowVanilla is hero x-villain because Shadowmilk is the villain and does villain things, and pure vanilla is the hero and does hero things. This is true, yes, but those villain things Shadowmilk did were still manipulative, which is a form of emotional abuse. While pure vanilla did overcome those doubts and actions by playing in the game Shadowmilk was playing, and even offering to start over again, he was still the victim of Shadowmilk's games, even if he got over them. Shadowmilk also wasn't sorry for anything he did, because he has a sadistic nature. He was only sorry for himself for not seeing the trap he was being pulled into. In short, it can't be only abuser x-victim, and it cannot only be hero x-villain. Both terms are needed to understand the ship to a deeper level. I also want to make it clear that when I say abuser x-victim, it is only to explain one of their character dynamics, because it's how the two interact with each other. Their dynamic is a really complex one. It's a clear abuser-victim relationship, but it's explored through the unique context of a hero and a fallen one. Thus, why it is also hero x-villain. ShadowVanilla is a hero x-villain pairing by its character archetypes, but the specific harmful actions detailed in the current story also make it an abuser x-victim dynamic. Both labels are needed to understand the ship, but since their story is a to be continued, it might change. As for us being abuse supporters for shipping it, I want to make this clear. I can say I like Jeff the Killer, but I'm not going to become a serial killer in real life. I can ship ShadowVanilla, but I'm not going to see a real abusive relationship and call it cute and adorable. I would help the victim. You have to separate fiction from reality and realize that yes, while there are some people like that, it's not everyone. So let's not generalize a community. Speed round.
Objection!
He doesn't. He only said he hated him because he was mad at pure vanilla for tricking him. Plus, he's being a hypocrite here and deflecting.
ShadowMilk is a stalker!
Objection!
ShadowMilk only knew about pure vanilla once he went to the fairy kingdom, not when he was a child. They first met in the other realm.
Pure Vanilla doesn't care about ShadowMilk.
My learned Nipponi's friend is obviously in training to be a clown, the way he regales us with such witticisms. To your future career in the circus.
These two photos say a lot more than I can. Now I'll explain why people ship them. We ship them simply because of their character dynamics and how they contrast, but click so well. Pure Vanilla already admitted to understanding him, and he truly does want to help ShadowMilk in the best way possible. Even if it took years, ShadowMilk can be redeemed, he just has to overcome his problems the right way, which isn't running away from them. That's why fanfics like Jambound blew up and became so popular, because they took these two characters and made them grow the interacted over time, which shows how great they can be together.
That's all.